What actually moksha means? Why should we need moksha? These are questions which trouble the mind. ಮೋಕ್ಷ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು? ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಸಾಧನಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಬೇಕು? ಮೋಕ್ಷ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು? ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬಾಳುವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ನಾನಾ ವಿಧವಾದ ಕಷ್ಟ ಸುಖಗಳನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಸುಖಗಳನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸುವಾಗ ಸುಖಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ಮನಸ್ಸು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಕಷ್ಟಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ಮನಸ್ಸು ದುಃಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೀನವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ದುಃಖಗಳನ್ನು ತಡೆಯಲಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಸುಖಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತವೆ, ಹೋಗುತ್ತವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಆ ಸುಖಗಳು ನೆಲೆಯಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ತರಹ ವ್ಯಾಕುಲ ಸಂಭವಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಆ ವ್ಯಾಕುಲದಿಂದ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಧವಾದ ಜಿಗುಪ್ಸೆಯು ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ದಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ have a beginning and end. They are not permanent. When good things happen to us, we are extremely happy and we are grateful to God. Now, when bad things happen to us, we become depressed, we become disappointed, and we develop a sort of what you call a dislike to the very word, to the very process of living itself. Now we have to compare these worldly enjoyments with the enjoyment we get out of our devotion to God. Now, devotion to God is something which produces a happiness which is permanent. And that happiness will last for long, and that will give us a peace of mind and strength of mind, a strength that is required very much to face the problems of the world. Herein, we have to consider one important aspect, and that is, if we want to get permanent happiness by doing devotion to God, what are the methods to achieve it? In worldly life, we have various methods. We want to go to a cinema hall and see the cinema. We pay the ticket and then we sit in the theater. We are very happy about it. Or we want to go to a mall and then purchase a few things. We purchase it. We are very happy about it. So these are all steps taken to get the happiness in the worldly life. Similarly, if we want to get happiness in the spiritual life, we have to do certain efforts. And these efforts are called sadhanas. There are various types of sadhanas that we may have to do to get this happiness in the spiritual life, this devotion to God. We have, for example, to do prayers. We have, for example, to do japams. We have, for example, to do dhyanams, then meditations. Then we have to do satsang. Then we have to discuss spiritual things. We have to acquire jnana through the books. And all these things will take us nearer to God. And these are efforts which have to be necessarily taken to get what we talked of about the permanent happiness that we get in life. Now, the anubhava of God is the most important thing. Book knowledge about God will not take us nearer to God. It will only give us some mental knowledge, but it does not provide any permanent peace. Similarly, any debate and discussion about God and His various forms also do not give us any permanent peace of mind. What really gives us peace of mind is an actual experience of God, the anubhava of God. Like one who has taken sugar says that the sugar is sweet, which is from out of his own experience. Similarly, We have to taste the sweetness of God to understand what that Anubhava is. Saint Tyagaraja brings this in a most appropriate manner in one of his kirtanas. Rama Bhakti Samprajyami. He talks of Bhakti to Rama, and that is an empire, Samrajya. And then he says, Atyanta Brahm Anandame Manasa. That is an Ananda my mind gets, which is endless, he says. Now this Ananda, Ilagani Vivarimpalenu. I cannot describe this experience. Ilagani Vivarimpalenu. No, I cannot describe this experience. Chala Swanubhava Vedyami. Swanubhava, personal experience, Vedya, Pratyaksha, Chala. That is sufficient for me. My own personal experience is sufficient for me. That is what Tyagaraja says. Similarly, one other saint, Kulasekara Alvar, in his immortal Mukundamala says, how does a person feel when he gets the experience of God? Bhaktena Anjalina Natena Sirasa Gatre Daro Modgame Kanthena Swaragadgadena Nayanena Udgirna Bashpambuna Kanthena Swaragadgadena. The speech does not come out and the voice is choked. Nayanina, from the eyes, Udgirna Bashpambuna, tears well from the eyes. Bashpa Ambuna. Ambuna is like an arrow, and the tears come out of the eyes in the form of an arrow. Nayanina Udgirna Bashpambuna. Dhyanamrutanam asmakam sarasirvaksham satadam sampadhyadam jivitam. As long as I live, oh Lord, I want to do dhyanamruta swadinam. I want to have your meditation only, your dhyana only. Now, I talked of the sadhana that is required to get this experience of God. Now, the sadhana can come only when the ego or the ahankara is established. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇರುವ ತನಕ ನಾವು ದೇವರನ್ನ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಹೋಗುವುದು ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ. ನಮ್ಮ ಅಹಂಕಾರಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸೆಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀನೇ ನನ್ನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ದೇವರ ಸಾನ್ನಿಧ್ಯ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತದೆ. This he brings out very beautifully in one other verse, Kulasekara Alvar. Majjanmanah palamidam padukairavare mat prarthaniya padanugraha esaiva Tvadbhritya idimam smaranotanata. The saint says, Swami, in this particular word, my only prayer is this. I want to be the your servant. Now, why the saint brings out this Prithya Bhava is because by doing that only his ahankara, his ego can completely vanish and he can have the darshan of the Supreme Lord. In another beautiful verse in the same Mukundamala, Nastha dharme navasunichaye naiva kamo babhoge Yad bhavyam bhavatu bhagavan purva dharmanurupam. I am not interested in dharma. Whatever happens will happen according to my past karmas. Let that happen, my Lord. But Yedat pratyam mama bahumatam janma janmantarepi. I only pray for this, my Lord. Janma janmakku. Janma janmantarepi yugagata. The next word is yugagata. Yugas. There are 4 yugas, as you know. Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, in which we are living. Even for yugas also pass. Mama yugagatam edat pratyam mama bhavatam yugata nischala bhaktirastu tat padam murga yugagata nischala bhaktirastu. Lord, I want to have only one thing, and that is nischala, dridavada bhakti, unwavering devotion to your lotus feet. This is what I want. So you see, doing the sadhana and the uh, having the will to achieve the lotus feet of the Lord is so important in our lives. That is what this saint brings out in this beautiful works. Now, coming to this word Vaikunta, it is generally believed that when people go to Vaikunta, they are in the company of the Lord. They are doing the service of the Lord. They are always happy, permanently peaceful, and nothing really bothers them. Nothing really worries them. The devotion to the Lord has so much power. Now, this is again a matter of personal experience. None of us really know whether we can really go to Vaikuntha, whether we can have the company of the Lord. But in this world in which we are living, in a practical way, we can bring that Vaikuntha here by trying to live in the company of the Lord always. The devotion to God helps that. And what is that Vaikuntha? That Vaikuntha is, we are always peaceful, we are always calm, we do not get overjoyed by what we get, neither do we become very depressed by what we do not get, but we are always in the presence of the Lord. That is to say, the mind of the devotee is so full of the Lord's company that he feels that the God is always with him. So nothing really worries him. He is convinced that the Lord takes care of him and he has no cares for himself. Now, if we can achieve this sort of a mental attitude, then there is nothing that we have to really worry about in this world itself. We do all our daily course that we are supposed to do in this world in a peaceful, calm manner. We have to attend to our family and children. We do that in a very peaceful manner. We have got some duties to our wife, our children, to society, and all those things we do in a very peaceful and calm manner. And that peace and calmness comes not because of any worldly gains, but because of our ability to have the presence of the Lord always within us. Grateful to Planet TV Canada for giving me an opportunity. My prayers to Lord Srinivasa to bless all of us with peace and happiness in this land.